I'm back. I'm better than ever. I would say I feel like $1,000,000, but definitely feel well enough to get a bunch of freaking work done on this STI. This is gonna be the last episode. Probably, I don't know if I'm gonna say forever, but last episode for a very long time. Good old cold start for the boys on the D-Max. So if on an average typical day, I feel like a 10 out of 10. I usually feel pretty good on a daily basis, on a daily driver, you know. 10 out of 10, I would say today's Saturday, so Thursday I got sick. Thursday morning I was like a 7 out of 10. Thursday evening I was like a 5 out of 10. Yesterday morning I was down to like a 3 out of 10, like just completely out of it. And then I went to the shop. Afternoon I was back to like a 5 out of 10. This morning I'm like a 7.5 out of 10. So I ain't mint. I'm halfway tuned, you could say. I got a base map on me right now. But a base map is good enough to go drive, right? So that's what we're gonna go do. I need to get this yellow Evo back on the lift, and we need to get this freaking, both of these projects done. I feel like they're both taking longer than expected. It's already dang near the end of January, and we were supposed to have the first start done. Granted, like with a project like the Evo, dude, you can't plan that far in advance, so it's really tough to do so. But I was planning on getting the first start done by January 1st initially. It is what it is. We're still waiting on parts. I still need my radiator to come in. We got hit with a pretty gnarly snowstorm here, and I know Portland's really bad as well, so I have a ton of packages held up in Portland, Oregon. So that ain't cool. But what do you do? It's winter, and all you can do is just turn off traction control in the D-Max, click her in 4-wheel drive, which she already is, and go a little sidewards. So here's everything I want to get finished up today on the Hawkeye. First, I got to put away all my freaking tools from last night. I didn't abide by my law, but I guess if I have an excuse, the excuse is valid. But today, tires mounted back on the wheels, balanced, get the wheels ceramic coated, brakes powder coated, back on the car, ceramic coated, and I want to get the whole entire body of the car, all the wrap that we just applied. Before it goes outside, I want to get all that ceramic coated as well. Well, it's so clean and easy to do. I don't want to go for a nice little rip ski in the snow and get it all wet and dirty and nasty and messy, and then have to bring it back in the shop and coat it later on. I love ceramic coat, and it helps a lot with cleaning, but it's just hard to, it's not hard, I guess, but you just need to get it done well. It's like a fresh wrap. Not a fresh paint job, don't do that, but a fresh wrap. Definitely get that done ASAP, because it's much quicker that way. Odds you don't have to spend 40 years cleaning. I feel like I need to make up for the lost 2 days of my life. Maybe that's not a good mindset to have, but we can do it. We can freaking do it. So I suppose it makes sense to get started off where we left off last night with getting all these wheels finished up. Just gotta slap some tires on, get them mounted and balanced, and then ceramic coated. But first, let's swap out this metal head with the plastic one. I'm curious how long I'm actually gonna keep these wheels on the car for. Of course, they're not my most favorite wheel in the world, and how excellent the rest of the build's coming out. I feel like it might actually require a quality set of wheels, even though the goal with this car is a budget build. Unfortunately, ran out of tire mounting lube, so a little bit of Dawn dish soap diluted with water will do the trick. Let's see, are these directional or are they inside outside? They're inside outside. But being that this car is kind of a stance boy car, I'm gonna flip them. And the reason for that is because if you take a look at the tread here, the outside's brand new, the inside's quite worn. It's a stance boy car. We ain't going for any sort of crazy traction, let's be honest. Plus it's stock, it makes like 200 wheel. I love when tires mount that easy. The worst part, blowing out your eardrums. Now let's hope we don't need the bead blaster to get these things on. Usually with stretch tires like this you do, but we'll see. Well, we should be good. Something like this, an improperly fitting tire, I'll probably do a 38, 40 PSI instead of like a 33 or 34. Now if you are gonna ceramic coat your wheels, make sure you put your wheel weights on first, meaning have your wheels balanced first. Otherwise, they ain't gonna stick. Definitely does not stick to the ceramic coating. I've tried it, it don't work. Hopefully these things balance out easy. Cheap wheels, cheap tires sometimes give you some problems. Let's get these girls coated up with some Armor Shield 9 from Avalon King. Maybe slap a little bit of tire shine on carefully. Ceramic coating on wheels is the best thing in the world. More so on white or like a lighter colored wheel as far as brake dust reasons go. But even on a black wheel, man, trying to get them cleaned up makes it so much easier. And it's super simple to do. Just do it while they're fresh and clean. Quick wipe down with IPA first and you're good to go. Wheels are all finished up, mounted, balanced, ceramic coated, tire shined, ready to go on the car. There's no point in putting them on until we knock out these here Brembes. Now look, I know this thing is a limited. They're supposed to be black, There ain't no rules to building a car though. And truth be told, I still don't really know what color I'm gonna do. I might do, it's either between two colors. So I guess we'll decide when I go to coat them. For now, let's go ahead and get them removed. These pads are in very, very good shape, so I'm not gonna be replacing the pads. And I find it a little bit more simple just to pop said parts off while the caliper's still mounted. Pop off the pads, pins, get everything disassembled on the car. Oh yeah, those things got a good chunk of life left. Let's be a budget boy and run them. So what do we need? Feels like a 19, feels like a 14. And then I might, I'm still debating whether or not I want to blast and powder coat the, I think you'd call it the hat section on the brake rotors because they're quite rusty. Let's pray for a no strippage of the Brembo today. I swear Brembo strip easier than anything. Banjo bolt's a 12, not a 14. Pretty sure stock though, it's supposed to be a 14. I'm assuming it's not an OEM banjo bolt. No, it is. I'm just not smart. I know I've showed a lot of caliper disassemblies, specifically Brembo disassemblies in my years here on YouTube, but a quick refresher. You want to get the pistons out first, preferably. So here's what I like to do. Compressed air is the ticket. Keep everything else assembled. The bleeder's on. Take some compressed air. What I do is put a little hose on the end of it. It'll kind of act as a seal. And then I put a hammer or something in between so one doesn't come flying out. And both can come out. I don't know if you guys can see that. Both are currently about halfway out. Okay, one's all the way out, the other will be very, very easy to remove, being that it's already like 90% out. Now once that task is completed, I like to run through, rip all the bleeders off, which should be an 11 millimeter. Yes, indeed. So you can see here, there's no external line on the fronts or the rears, meaning both fronts and rears are gonna have an internal crossover seal, which, as you guys know, because I've discussed, don't lose that seal. They're hard to find. Or I should say impossible to find. I've yet to ever find replacements of that seal. Now we need to split the halves of the caliper. So the rears take a 6mm Allen. I agree that's way too freaking long, but my short one broke. Let's hope we don't break the long one. There's that small O-ring I was talking about. Pull that out before it gets lost. And now we simply just need to pull out the dust seal, which there's a little recessed area in the caliper to get that out. Pull that guy out. Fluid seal comes out. Now this side has the piston still in it, so pull out the dust seal. Grab a set of pliers. Piston is out. Fluid seal is out. That is the gist of disassembly. Now into the tank of doom they go. Now would be a great time to get this oven cranked up. She takes a couple hours to heat up total. It's a whole ass process to get this thing started, dude.
This car's been getting pushed in and out for like 2 years.
Oh yeah. Ah, shit. Come on, girl. I'm gonna go out on the road and come in. Well, I figured it's about that time for my morning Joe. And if I'm gonna go get my morning Joe, I might as well do it in a cool car, you know? A car that never gets driven. Alright, that's enough. You think she's warmed up?
That's a good one. It's a long intro.
I didn't give her enough gas. These mini batteries are ass.
We gotta switch that battery. Can you just plop a new one in there?
Well, it's got the short route. It wouldn't fit with this intercooler piping.
Can you even buy a mini battery?
Yeah, but they're all trash, dude. Every freaking, this has got the most expensive one in it, and they're pieces of shit.
Do you have enough juice in that to continue jumping yourself?
Yeah, I just won't let it die. Just keep giving her gas. Should be good. Probably doesn't help my battery cables are loose.
Yeah, they're super loose.
You want to fire it real quick? And not run me over? Will she stay running? Sick tune! Rev it up really high and then get out and I'll get in. Well, I'll call you if I need a tow. Oh man, this car is so freaking sick. It just needs a clutch, a tune, and a freaking battery. And I would daily this thing. Absolute daily her. Oh man. Oh man. Definitely be needing some all-wheel drive. Oh, that took all my energy. Giggling takes all my energy. It's a good day.
What in the funky heck is this?
She built.
It's about time to take this car out.
Yep.
One of our favorites.
Say hello. Say hello.
Hello.
Once she warms up, she'll idle. Like hot. Like 200-degree probably coolant temps. Nah, not 200, but fully warmed. Anything below that, man, she ain't having it. Who remembers when I bought this car? Drove it all the way 2,000. It was like 2,500 miles. 2,500 miles back home. That was a fun trip, man. That was such a fun trip. I need to do that more often. If only I had a place to store 10,000 cars, that would be ideal. You know when you're younger and people tell you things and you just automatically assume that to be fact and you never question it? I still do that. I did that with this powder coat stripper tank. I heard one time, right when I got this tank a couple years ago, that you're not supposed to wear a mask while working with the tank. And the reason for it is they said because it traps the like nasty air inside the mask. When you think about it, it doesn't really make sense. So I find that if I wear a mask, it's much easier to breathe. Imagine that. Just a quick sandblast on the calipers to get them roughened up. There's also some weird staining on them, so I want to get all that blasted off. I know you guys can't see anything. I'm freaking running out of tear-offs. Get them cleaned up and we're ready to powder. All right, guys, I've narrowed it down to 2 colors. Ooh, I just almost took out my camera. Narrowed it down to 2 colors. And one of the colors was, of course, the 2019 STI caliper color. I went to grab it and I had like literally 2 ounces of it left. So there's only one other color possible. Let's do it. I'm excited for this one. It's gonna be a little bit more tricky, but it'll turn out good. You see? Chrome. All right, who's ready to see the real, actual color? It ain't chrome. The real, actual color is lollipop red. Would you freaking look at that? So in order to get that really poppy red, you do a chrome base. I did the Super Chrome Plus. And then over that, you go ahead and do the red. I chose lollipop red. Very, very nice red. As you guys just saw, and I think it's gonna look insane on the STI. Now here's the problem with a freaking transparent color. This is what it's supposed to look like. Okay, very beautiful, vibrant, gorgeous red. And here's what it looks like if you do not spray it the same exact thickness. This is clearly, the red went on much, much thicker than the red went on this guy here. So as you can see, if we hold them up side by side, this one looks good. This one looks like absolute trash and needs to be redone. This is why the Illusion series of prismatics colors is so much easier to spray. I won't say better. I've yet to find a red that looks this poppy in the Illusion. So the Illusion is no chrome base, it's just a color and then a clear coat over it. So you don't run into freaking stuff like this. This pisses me off. I debated just leaving it because it is a budget build, but that looks like shit for lack of a better word. All right, we got that fourth caliper in the oven, about to redo her. In the meantime, I'm gonna sit here and assemble the other 3 calipers. So what do we need? We need a touch of brake fluid. That's all we need. Now I was not gonna talk about this, but this might actually be more beneficial because if I remember back to a Q&A I did about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago with Bobby, I actually did get this question and it's something I'm currently going through today. And the question was, how do you keep moving forward and moving on and progressing even on those days that you do not feel like it? And I know I never talk about this kind of stuff. Quite honestly, it's because the times I do talk about anything car related, I always see the comments of no one gives a shit, just show us your cars and leave it at that. So that makes it very difficult for me to want to talk about anything not related to cars, but being that I know people are interested in that, I guess, mindset that I have when it comes to those kind of things, because I think everyone does go through those moments of where you do want to just blow up your life and not continue moving on, which, if I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, today's been one of those days, man. Like the last 4 hours, I didn't do anything. I went and talked with the guys over there, talked to Jared for a while, and just had to take a little breather because it is one of those days where everything seemed pointless, I guess, for lack of a better term. Sometimes I don't know why I do what I do when it comes to doing what I do with the channel and building cars and whatnot, and it feels like I just have no purpose. And I know to some of you guys that probably sounds absolutely ridiculous, but I am a human at the end of the day, and I still go through those crazy, wild emotions of, like, when I really sit back and think, why am I doing this? Like, what value am I providing to the world, almost? I guess is the easy way to explain it at the end of the day. Like, am I actually providing any sort of value? Is this what I was put here to do, is build cars here and show it on the channel? And I guess that relates back to that question on the Q&A, is how do you continue moving on when you don't want to? And I think an important aspect a good thing to do is just take a little bit of a breather. Like, I went and just drove for like 20 minutes, came back to the shop, went and hung out with Jared for a while, bullshitted with him, just got my mind off everything, and I don't know. I guess I'm not really being able to find the words to describe how to get through it right now, but I guess ultimately at the end of the day, I want you guys to know that I deeply struggle with those same problems. And the main problem I'm struggling with today is, like, why am I even doing any of this? I guess if I had to explain it in an easier way of how I feel right now is, I feel like I'm just wasting space almost. It feels like I was put here to do more than what I'm doing, if that makes sense. And maybe that's not the right way to look at it. It probably is not. I'm very just caught up in my emotional state. But yeah, I just wanted you guys to know that I know you guys struggle with life emotions. And guess what? Devin does too. Devin is a human. And I know from the outside, to a lot of you guys, my life looks like an absolute dream. I have all these cars. I have the ultimate dream job. I have an amazing relationship with my woman. But I still very, very, very deeply struggle with self-doubt and purpose things of that sort, and very clearly struggle with having the words to describe how I feel, so I can relate that back to you guys. But let's just shut up and put these calipers together. Let's do that and keep moving forward. Keep on freaking trucking. I almost just said F it with that other miscolored caliper and put it on the car. Put it on the car, because in my mind it's like, okay, this is just a budget build. It doesn't really matter. But it does matter. Every detail matters. Everything freaking matters, man. So I just use brake fluid here to lube up the seals. That's another thing too. It's like, anytime I'm assembling a set of calipers, I'm like, why would I show this? I've already showed it on the channel like 20 times. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the reality of life, is repetitiveness and consistency. And maybe some of you guys don't watch for the education. You just watch because for some reason you like to enjoy watching me build cars. I don't freaking... Who knows at the end of the day why people watch. But anyways, .3 brake fluid, lube up the seals. I'm kind of doing a bulk assembly right now. Put all the seals in first. And then the pistons go in. And then the dust seals, and then we assemble. Well, the other 4 calipers turned out, the other 3 calipers turned out nice. This 4th caliper definitely was the best outcome of our powder coat job, but I think I came across a conclusion. It's more, the thickness of the red going over the chrome certainly matters, but I concluded that what matters more than that is actually allowing the chrome to fully cure before you apply the red over it. That seems to be a very, very, what would you call it? That's very, very important to do. Way more important than I thought. Still, transparent colors, translucent colors, extremely hard to spray to get very even. You can see on the back side of this rear caliper here, once again, it's the backside is not the biggest deal in the world. Of course, I would prefer it to be perfect, but there are a few light areas on it, especially on the inside as well, where it's more chrome than it is red. The front side though, man, this thing's freaking beautiful. I would love to get these things on tonight, but I did decide to go ahead and powder coat the rotors. Of course, I'm not going to be powder coating where the pads ride, but the hats of the rotors and the outer edge, powder coat those guys so they're fully sandblasted already, and I'll have to powder those in the morning. I feel like every single day I say, today is going to be the day this car is freaking done and getting off the lift. But then we add a couple more things to make it a little bit nicer, and it drags the project on. But at the end of the day, what I always ask myself, or I try to ask myself, what's the point of rushing these projects? Is it so I can build more cars while I'm alive? You know, like, we're all gonna die one day, and am I gonna be there on my deathbed and be like, dang, I should have built more cars, even though I built a crap ton of cars? Or will it be more of a regret of, dang, I wish I built more quality of cars? I'm curious what my thoughts are gonna be when I'm like 100 years old, just chilling there, like this. You'll never know until all that happens. I highly doubt it's gonna be the prior. I don't think I'm ever gonna say, I wish I would have built more cars. More quality of cars though. I could see that being a thought. Okay, just like that, the 4th and final caliper is assembled. Really wish we could slap these on the car tonight, but you know what? We can set one up on there. I already know how it's gonna look. I've had this color combo before on the Evo 10. Camo wrap, red calipers. It's a combo that is nearly impossible to beat. The yellow, the fluorescent would have been sick, but it ain't nothing like this lollipop red. I know the car's all dirty now and full of gunk, but that is gonna be the look? Comment below, because I can't stand back and look. Is that good or is it bummy? Let me know below. Goodbye.